warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Reyanah. Here I will make a video about reading. 6. Everyday life in the Soviet Union, the shopping runaround. The author Hedrick Smith was head of the New York Times office in Moscow from 1971 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's book. The Russian, which was published in 1976 by Quadrangle, or the New York Times Book Company. 1. I had heard about consumer shortages before going to Moscow, but only when we began to shop there did the Russian consumer problems really have meaning for me. Customers the world overweight in lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality all their own. Typically, the Soviet woman spent 2 hours a day in line, 7 days a week. Personally, I have known of people who stood in line 90 minutes to buy 4 pineapples and 3.5 hours to buy 3 large heads of cabbage, only to find the cabbage were gone as they approached the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Some friends of ours watched a line of people in Moscow signing up to buy rugs. The line lasts 2 days and nights and ran for across a top and apartment development. In spite of all of this, the natural reaction of a Russian woman when she sees a line forming is to get in it immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more fluid than they appear. In most stores, for example, shoppers must stand in not 1 but 3 lines for any purchase. The first, to select a purchase and find out its price. The second, to pay a cashier somewhere else in the store and get a receipt. And the third, to go pick up the purchase and turn in the receipt. 3. Buried in a diary store one morning, I found out that the game is both simpler and more complex than that. I went in to buy some cheese, butter, and bolognese sausage, which were in 3 separate departments, each with its own lines, 9 lines. 4. Rather quickly, I noticed that experienced shoppers were skipping the first stage. They knew what most items cost, so they went directly to the cashier for their receipts. After studying prices, I did that too. Then I went to the cheese line, the longest, probably 20 people to get the worst over with first. I was in lines less than a minute when a woman in front of me asked me to hold her plates. She darted up to the butter and milk line. The cheese line was moving so slowly that she got her butter and milk and returned before we had advanced 3 feet. I decided to take the rice too, and I got back with my butter while the cheese line was still inching along. 5. Then it suddenly occurred to me that all over the store people were getting into line, holding place, laying, returning. Everyone was using the cheese line as home base. That was why it was barely moving. It kept expanding in the middle. So I got the man behind me to hold my place, and I went off to buy my bolognese. Once again, it worked. It took me 22 minutes to buy butter, sausage, and cheese, but instead of being furious, I felt as if I had beaten the system. 6. This competitive shopping gives an atmosphere of tension to Russian life. People burst into stores and bump into each other with face set in combative expression. You have to understand. Cytokine. Gray-haired person that for as long as we can remember, shopping has been a struggle. Life is struggle. 7. There is hardly any effective advertising to help shoppers. Americans complain about the constant commercial in the United States, but they might reconsider if they were exposed to the consumer blackout in Russia. A typical Soviet ad might be, if you want to live to a ripe old age and be beautiful, modest, thorough, and truthful, drink tea. Most newspapers publish without ads. The shopper has no handy yellow page or daily newspaper, supermarket, or department store ads to help her decide where to shop. 8. Bribery is widespread. Low paid $80 to $20 monthly. Sellers takes a portion of attractive items and sell them secretly to regular customers who have either left a bride in advance or can be counted on to pay a high price on delivery. 10 to 15 rubles on a 60 ruble raincoat is standard. In 1976, the ruble was equivalent $1.32. 9. So come on, is this practice that the Soviet press is always complaining about it, but it doesn't do any good. Crocodile, the Soviet humor magazine, once showed a department store employee promising some newly arrived items. Dear customers, in the leather goods department, 500 imported women's purses have been received. 450 of them have been bought by store employees. 49 are under the counter and have been ordered in advance for friends. One purse is in the display window. We invite you to visit the leather department to buy this purse. Buy this purse. Okay, that's all from me. If there is any misspelling, I apologize. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.